Hello, and welcome to week 3 of Advent. In week 3, we are invited to consider joy. Now, joy isn't a word that we use particularly, not a lot. We tend to use the word happy more than we use joy. So, what is the difference between happiness and joy? Happiness is considered to be an emotion or an emotional response or reaction to the things that are going on around us. So you've probably heard people say, oh, that makes me so happy. Well, it's a feeling state. And our happiness tends to be based on what's going on around us. So 2020 may have seen a reduction in people's happiness. They haven't been able to interact with people. They've experienced directly or indirectly the impact of COVID-19. Maybe you're still experiencing some unhappiness around your school situation or your workplace situation. So happiness tends to be driven by the things that are going on outside of ourselves. Where joy tends to be an internal response, more of a way of living or a lifestyle. You just know when you're around joyful people, even if they aren't experiencing positive things in their lives, there's just something different about them. And joy is actually one of the spiritual gifts that Christians can have, which speaks to the condition in which they live regardless of the circumstances they find themselves in. And at Christmas, we're invited to think about what joy means to us and how we live and how we can choose to live in a joyful state. The angels announced with joy the arrival of Jesus, and Jesus himself talks about joy and living in the joy that he alone can bring. So happiness then is kind of a response to what's going on around us. And joy is a response to who is living inside of us. God promises us joy, regardless of what we might be experiencing. And you know, there's a lot going on in the world that can take our happiness away, that can wipe the smile off our face. Not so with joy, because joy resides in our heart. Joy resides on the inside. And life circumstances can do their best, but not even the worst of life circumstances can take away our joy, because God put it there. And he put it there when we recognize and realize the importance of having Jesus in the world and in our lives. So as you move through this week, I want to invite you to really consider the difference between happiness and joy as it shows up in your life. What does joy feel like? What does joy sound like? Immerse yourself in that experience and live in the joy that God promises. Thank you so much and have a great third week of Advent.